Am I the eye-hole for not paying for my stepdaughter's wedding? Not the a-hole. I-49M will keep this as short as possible, but basically, my stepdaughter 25F wants to marry her boyfriend 25M, which was fine and all. I had the money to pay for the wedding. What could possibly go wrong? Her father 54M has never been in the picture her whole life. He was a deadbeat father. Never took care of his daughter, never paid child support according to my fiancé anyway. My stepdaughter was never rude to me and always showed respect, so I always showed respect for her and bought all her the necessities she needed, maybe too much. Now looking back, I'm an effing ATM. What was I thinking? Anyway, since I'm paying for a $200K wedding, I just asked for my mother and her two step-siblings to receive invitations since they are her siblings. My fiancé and daughter were like, cool, we will. Now obviously this could be a mistake, but invitations come around. My stepdaughter informed me that she didn't want any children at her wedding. But that seemed odd to me because my fiancé's sister children were invited, so why wasn't her own siblings invited? I asked her and she said it was just a mistake, probably a red flag, but we move. A few days later my daughter-in-laws come to my house and a question was asked by the in-law targeting my daughter, asking who was going to walk her down the aisle. My daughter announced it was her deadbeat effing clown of a father. My fiancé was in shock from her announcement, and my daughter kept going on about how they've been in touch and the fact that he's her true father, and at that point, I lost it. I announced that her real father can pay for the wedding. He can't, since I'm a check for my stepdaughter. My stepdaughter started screaming at me and all the guests left the house. My fiancé wasn't too happy, stating that I humiliated her in front of her in-laws and the fact they spent a year planning. I stated that I wasted $200K on an ungrateful brat, maybe an eye-hole for this, and spewed insults towards her father. As you can tell, I have hatred towards that man, so am I the asshole? Edit. I want to clarify a few things briefly. Just because you saw a similar story or situation doesn't mean that the stepfather was the only person to be in this situation. Secondly, my stepdaughter told me I would walk her down the aisle, then proceeded to lie and humiliate me in front of the guests. Thirdly, a few people asked why I laughed it off. Whenever I'm in a bad situation I just like to laugh it off like Spider-Man, I guess.